guys, what is going on? It's Jonathan LeBron back again, and today I kind of got like a story time type of video for you guys about how I won a national powerlifting meet when I was 16. So this was in 2023. I'm 17 currently, but I am turning 18 this year. So this was nearly 2 years ago. Let me find a place to set up my camera first real quick. So when I was 15, because when I did the meet, I just turned 16. This was like a week after my 16th birthday maybe, but we have to rewind back to when I was 15. I saw this is in Thailand, by the way, because I live in Thailand and I'm Thai, if you guys didn't know. And honestly, I was able to win this competition mainly because, I'm in Thailand compared to kids from the West, from America. Look, I'm not that strong. I'm just gonna be like straight up honest with you. But still, at the end of the day, this competition was really memorable to me personally. It was a really memorable event, and still to this day a pretty big achievement for me, and I'll get to why that is. So when I was 15, this was about 2 or 3 months before the competition. I saw the new Federation of Powerlifting in Thailand posted a new announcement for sign-ups for the national powerlifting meet. And you guys might be wondering, if you are into powerlifting, that usually national meets, you can't sign up for it, right? To get to a national meet, you have to qualify through qualifiers pretty much, right? However, during this time, there was a lot going on with the Federation of Powerlifting in Thailand. It's a long story that I personally can't get into it because I don't know much about it, but I just do know that, there was a lot of problems that was going through the old federation that was, running the powerlifting meets for years. And the one that I signed up for this one that I'm talking about, was new at the time, right? At the time, they just started the federation, and that was pretty much their first competition, right? The national meets that I entered, right? So they took signups to enter, pretty much, right? And basically, when I saw that announcement, I've already been powerlifting for a couple months. It hasn't been a year. However, I thought that, my career and my journey was going pretty well and strong, to the point where I felt like I was confident enough to enter a powerlifting meet, right? And basically what happened was, after I saw that, to be honest with you, I was thinking about it for a little bit, because it'll be kind of a big step for me, stepping on the national stage or stadium. It's a pretty big step for me, right? I don't know how it would go and things like that. I don't know, if I would do well. A lot of things were going in my mind at the time, but eventually, thank goodness that I had a really good community in the gym that managed to convince me that, at the end of the day, how I'm doing it, it doesn't matter as much, because of the fact that, it'll just be a good experience for me, at the time I was 15, I will be 16 by the time of the competition. And, at the end of the day, it will be a great experience. The people at the gym, my friends and, my community, they just told me, Jonathan, listen, like, whether or not you win, like, you know, you'll like have a lot of fun. It'll be crazy and it'll be great, okay? So after I heard that, I thought, fuck it, you know what? I'll just sign up. I'll get to it. And that's exactly what I did. I signed up for the competition or the meet, and I just locked the fuck in. Pretty much, I trained and trained and trained to prep for this meet. I can't remember exactly how many months it was since my sign up to the actual day of the meet, but I was locked the fuck in, guys. I was training day in, day out. And like, I wasn't focusing to the point where I wasn't even focusing as much about bodybuilding, because at this time, if you guys are familiar with the power building type of training style, this is exactly what I did at the time, because I was doing both power lifting and bodybuilding. But I just didn't care about anything else. I just, solely focus on powerlifting, and, bodybuilding can come after. That's what I thought to myself, right? I gotta put my all into this meet first, right? So, any other type of training won't matter for now. Let me just fucking focus on powerlifting and gaining my strength, right? And basically, I actually managed to gain a good amount of strength, actually, right before I actually entered the meet. I added a few kilos to my squat, to my deadlift, and the bench press. One thing that's really interesting about the bench press, actually, is that even though I was gaining good amount of strength on the deadlift and squat, my bench was really taking a toll on me, because at the time I had a tricep injury, where anytime I would press any type of heavy weight, or when I try to peak, if you guys know the style of training in powerlifting, there's trainings where you basically work up to a peak week, where you'd be able to have the most strength, the most energy, where you would be able to press the most weight that the day that you peak, basically. And I was having trouble doing that, because anytime I load up a weight that is close to my max, I would just start having like really bad tricep pain, and I couldn't add to my weight on the bench press, right? So I wasn't really getting strong on the bench press. And I've had weeks during the prep where I would have to take some weeks off training bench, because my tricep was just in pain and I couldn't train it. And I was starting to really get worried, because I was really putting my all into it in this competition. I really wanted to win, okay, because I really felt like I could at the time. I was confident in myself. I was nervous, but at the same time, I was also more nervous about the fact that, my tricep will have an effect on me on the meet day, right? But basically, little did I know that was, not even the biggest problem that I would run into during this prep, because 2 weeks before the meet, which was around my birthday, my birthday was around a week to 2 weeks before the meet. And basically 2 weeks before the day of the competition, I got COVID, right? I got COVID, and I got it probably at the worst time possible, because, bro, I was 2 weeks out. I was 2 weeks out. Why the fuck am I getting COVID now? I can't train for a whole week. I couldn't train for a whole week, and that shit messed with my head. I'm not kidding. guys, I was thinking of pulling out, if I'm being honest with you, but at the same time, um, it was really rough. It was really hard, for me mentally. I was sick, obviously. I couldn't eat, meaning I was losing weight. And because I was losing weight and I wasn't training at the time, I was fucking freaking out that I was gonna lose strength when I get back to training, which really I didn't have that much time because I was only a week out, right? I was really concerned about that. And that's why it kind of messed with my head. I was freaking out. Yes, I was, physically sick, but really it took a toll more on me mentally, if I'm being honest with you, especially because, I was 2 weeks out from my first national powerlifting competition. And yes, you could argue that um I should be doing it for experience, I should be doing it for fun. But really, guys, I really wanted to win, okay? I really wanted to win this competition, and I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to fail that. I didn't want to fail the people who believe in me. I didn't want to fail myself. I didn't want to fail, the promise that I kept myself. I just didn't want to, right? I just wanted to win, okay? And if I didn't, I was really gonna be upset with myself, right? Until a friend of mine who was also kind of like a big brother to me, a mentor who helps me out a lot in the gym when it comes to my powerlifting training, right? I was talking to him while I had COVID during this week, and I was telling him how, I'm thinking about pulling out. It might not be a good idea. But, after I told that to him, I just remember the text messages that he sent to me, and it flipped a switch in me, right? It flipped my mindset around to not give up. I don't remember exactly what he said. I do have a screenshot of it, so if I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. But he said something along the lines of, things don't always go your way. That's what makes you a champ. You have to be able to adapt, and I believe in you. Something along the lines of that. But after I saw that message, after I read that message, first I screenshotted it, but most importantly, it also gave me that motivation back. It gave me the vision. It gave me the vision of myself that I had previously before I had COVID and my training was going pretty smoothly. It gave me that vision back, right? And after that, long story short, I just didn't let COVID, break me, or, I didn't let it make me give up, right? I didn't let it mess with my head. I didn't let it, be the reason why I gave up on myself on the people who believed in me, right? 1 week passed. I finally recovered from the COVID that I had, and for the week that I had COVID, I lost around 3 kilos, right? And this is mainly because before I had COVID, while I was prepping for this meet, I was bulking up to it, right? Like most competitors would usually cut for their meet, but I did the opposite just because I thought, for my first competition, it would probably be beneficial, right? Because, I wouldn't have to, worst case scenario, lose strength from cutting weight, right? I didn't want to cut weight. If I was able to eat a lot leading up to it and, be in a calorie surplus, and feeding my body a lot of energy, I'll probably be able to manage better on meet day, right? So that's what I did. And the thing is that leading up to that competition, I was eating like 5 meals a day, guys. I was eating like a fuck ton. This is during the times where I was eating probably the most that I ever ate. That's a lie. I had a point where I was dirty bulk and I was eating like 5,000 calories a day, but I was eating a lot of meals. I was having a high quantity and volume of food, pretty much, right? I was eating like 5 meals a day and like 2 shakes, right? I was bulking pretty hard for the sake of my strength mostly. Obviously, me bulking and putting on size and weight helps with me building muscles, and eating in a calorie surplus and a lot of protein helps me with building muscles and bodybuilding. However, to be honest, like I did it at least for the few months that I was prepping for the meet. I was doing it for the purpose of my strength, right? And if you know anything about eating for strength and diet for strength, you know, you have to eat a fuck ton, pretty much, right? And that's exactly what I was doing. And because I wasn't doing that during the week that I got COVID, usually I would be holding a lot of water weight, right? Because I eat a lot of food. And because I didn't do that during the week that I had COVID, my weight really fluctuated because all the water that I was holding, not only did the water that I was holding, fluctuated, but, I also just lost weight in general. I'm not really sure if it was muscles, if it was fat, if it was... The point is, I didn't get to eat much because of COVID. And after the end of it, I lost 3 kilos. And even though it sucked, I didn't let that stop me. I still continued. I got back into the gym literally the week after I didn't have COVID anymore, and I got back to strength training. I did an SBD day, and the good thing about that SBD day, it actually boosted my confidence a little bit, because when I went back to do that SBD day, I actually didn't lose as much strength as I thought I would have. So that was a really confident booster that got installed in me literally a few days before the competition. This was probably around 5 days already before the meet, right? Now fast forward a week later, right? I trained during that whole week. I made sure I gained my strength back. I made sure I was on point. I made sure that I peaked on meet day. And here comes the meet day, right? Guys, I want to tell you something about this, because going into this competition, it was a 1v1, okay? In my weight class, in my age group, it was a 1v1, me against this other guy. Now, this other guy was very well known in the powerlifting community, right? And I was just a nobody. And bear in mind, guys, like, this guy was a beast. Like, I'll have to be honest, credit to him, shout out to him. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna name him, but he's definitely very strong. He was also younger than me. Obviously, he still is, but the guy is very strong, okay? So I was going against a tough opponent, but the thing is about that, the reason why I mentioned the fact that he was well known in the powerlifting community in Thailand is, as soon as I walked in, when people found out that I was going against this guy, I was the underdog. And everyone's heads were turned against me, right? and the odds were against me. I was the underdog, right? His friends came up to me and, we're hyping him up like, oh, bro, you're going against this guy. Oh, he's very strong, things like that. And, just pretty much just trying to, they were just trying to like, hype him up and like let me know that, I'm going against a tough opponent, which, I mean, I already knew, but I won't remember this one thing that this other guy told me that was also competing. He was also going against a tough opponent, but in a different weight class. And we were talking, I told him, he told me, yeah, he's going against this guy, he's a tough opponent, he's very strong, things like that. And then I told him the guy I was going against. And then what he said to me after that is something that I'll never remember. He said to me, well, I guess there's a place for he said, well, I guess there's a second place for both of us. Right? And the thing is, after I heard that, I told myself something. I told myself that I will not prove them right. I'll not prove them right. I don't care if I'm the underdog. I don't care that I'm the underdog. I will not lose. I trained too fucking hard for this meet, for this competition, prepping for it, going through shit, tricep injury, COVID. I came too far for me to lose, and I will not settle for second place. I refuse to settle for second place. And when he told me that, I just looked at him and I was like, I just refuse to have that mindset. I refuse to have that mindset. I will not land in second place. Okay? And something in me really switched and it really clicked because, I'm actually in this, I'm actually in the competition that I was working so hard for many months, many weeks. And, lo and behold, I end up being the underdog, the unknown guy, the guy who, came from a gym 20 minutes away. The guy that I was going against literally trained at that gym that the meet was holding. The guy that I was going up against literally trained in the gym that the meet was hosted at, pretty much, right? And the gym that was holding this competition, pretty much. And that's pretty much explains why, the guy was more known in the community, because it was a powerlifting gym and people who powerlifted also went to that gym. And that's, they see him train every day. They see that he's young and he's able to lift a lot of weight. And they doubted me. They doubted me. They did because they didn't know me. Simply because they didn't know me. They didn't know my ability, my talent, and most importantly, they didn't fucking know my mindset. Okay? They didn't know the type of animal, the type of beast that I had in my head, that I had in me. Okay? And that's why I refuse to let myself down. I refuse to let the people in the gym, my mentors, my friends that I worked out with, that gave me advice, that taught me and got me into powerlifting, I wasn't gonna let them down. Okay? Fast forward, the competition starts. If you know anything about powerlifting, there's sections of different times where each weight and age category go up against each other and are, competing, and then it slowly goes down by section. My competition was holded at the end of the day. So the competition was running the whole day and mine was at the end of the day, right? So I was waiting for everyone else to compete. All the adults, all the juniors, and then it got to sub junior, which is my age group, right? Coming down slowly by each weight class, because I was in the 83 at the time, and it got to my turn, right? First squat. Going into the bar, me visualizing myself on the podium, on the number one podium, me looking at the squat bar, the music fucking ringing in my ears. And at the time, guys, I had a fucking, if you guys know the skull candy headphones, the ones that you can adjust the bass, I had those shits, and I had it full volume, and I had the bass fully adjust, pretty much, because I wanted to put my head fully in the game. I wanted to put myself fully in the competition, locked in, not think about anything else, not let my head wander anywhere else, because it was simply me against this other guy, right? But most importantly, it was me against myself, right? Powerlifting is an individual sport, right? It's not like soccer, or some people call it football or basketball, where it's a team sport, where how a team wins is through teamwork and through many people working together. No, powerlifting is you against a few other people, and you have to perform, and if you don't, it's your fault. There's no one else to blame. Okay? You can't fail a lift and blame someone else for it. Like how you, let's say in basketball, if your teammate passed you the ball incorrectly, or made a mistake, they can be the one to blame and not you. No, powerlifting is you against you, and you against a few other people, right? And that's the thing, guys. That means anytime you go on that podium, anytime the bar is on your back, or the bar is in your hands, the spotlight is fully on you, guys. You gotta understand this. They're not going there to watch. People who are watching you are not watching you for your team. They're watching you as soon as you walk on that podium. Your name is getting called, the weight that you're lifting, and everyone is focused on whether or not you're gonna make it. Okay? Not your team, not this other, main player. You're the main character as soon as you walk on that podium. Okay? Not podium, sorry. As soon as you walk on that stage. So you gotta understand that, I probably never did anything that was as adrenaline rushed and energetic. And guys, I'll be honest, the competitiveness aside, the vibe was great, okay? I'm gonna be honest, the vibe of the competition, the energy, it was amazing. Everyone was screaming. Anytime somebody, is going for a lift, everybody's screaming. Fucking loud noises everywhere. Everyone's hyping each other up. To this day, I will never not love the energy of a powerlifting competition, okay? But that aside, I went through my lifts. First lift was squat, got all three whites, got all three white lights. Things were going smooth, and I got to a bench, and that's when I started to get a little sticky, obviously because of my tricep injury. I got 2 whites and 1 red, so far I was still doing pretty well. until I got to the deadlift, which was the guy who was who I was going up against. Deadlift was his strength lift, pretty much. He was like the strongest at it compared to the other lifts, right? And as soon as I got to the deadlift, with keep in mind the fact that I was winning pretty much, through squat and bench. I was winning the competition like most of the way, right? Until I got to the deadlift, which was my competitor's strength, pretty much strength lift. And deadlift was, I guess you could say my strength at the time as well, but it was nowhere near as good as his. Well, that's kind of an exaggeration. My deadlift wasn't as big as his, but it was good enough at the least to say. But it got to the deadlift. That's when people, because I was winning, I was the underdog. It was unexpected, the fact that I was winning. Nobody expected that shit, for me to be winning most of the competition. Until it got to the deadlift, that's when people were like, oh, get ready to lose, get ready to come second place, this other guy, your competitor, this is his strength, this is what he does. There's no way you're gonna win against him, right? Little did they know they were fueling more into my motivation and my ego. And I fucking love that shit, guys. I love that, like they the fact that they were doing that, they were discouraging me, it made my mindset more and more unbreakable, right? And I got to the deadlift, it was pretty head to head, pretty much, or is it called toe to toe? I'm not quite sure, but it was close, right? It was a really good battle, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and fucking stroke my ego and hype myself up and tell you guys that I won by a mile. I did not win by a mile. It was very, very close, especially on the deadlift. I actually lost. My position got moved at one point during the deadlift, but funny thing about that is that when my position got moved, meaning I was losing to him, it was on the second attempt. In powerlifting competitions, there's 3 attempts that you can make for a lift, right? It was on the second attempt where I lost to him. I was losing. My total was below him, right? Which means that when it got to my 3rd attempt, I was under big fucking pressure. I was under big pressure because if I don't make this, I lost, right? If I don't make this, I wouldn't have reached my goals that I've set for myself for months and weeks. I would let myself down. I would let my old self, myself from a few months ago, who believed in myself so much to sign up for his first competition, down. I would let my friends down who were watching me from the stand. My day one friends who were there to support me, to shout for my name. I would let down my mentors who encouraged me to sign up for the competition in the first place. All of that was running through my head on the way to my 3rd attempt, guys. This was very fucking intense, at least for me. I know there would be some of you guys that are watching this right now that have went through more intense shit, but this is just my personal story, okay? Shit was intense for me. I was in a lot of stress, and I'll be honest, guys, like a lot of it came from myself because I told myself that I could not lose. People around me, all of my friends, all my mentors, told me to, not put my focus so much on winning, but I didn't really listen. If I'm being honest with you, I didn't really listen. I just wanted to fucking win. I wanted to wear that gold medal around my neck, and I wanted to stand on the first position podium, and I wanted to feel that joy and fulfillment that I would feel when I win, right? And I got to my turn, was sniffing smelling salt. I was locked in. I had tunnel visions. I did not see anything else other than that deadlift bar that was on the stage. I was tunnel visioned. I did not hear anything. I was all in my head. I told myself, this is it. This is where winners are made, okay? This is where everything changes, right? And everything was really on the line for me, okay? As soon as I sniffed my smelling salt a couple times, my my mentor took my headphones off. I got a slap in the back, and I screamed a couple times, right? I'm not gonna say what I screamed, okay? But I walked onto that stage, my mind not on anything else except that deadlift bar that was standing right in front of me. And at the time, I knew that it was me against that fucking deadlift bar that I was looking at. And I pretty much had to envision myself fucking lifting a car off of my family, pretty much, right? However, you know, that might sound corny, but guess what? It fucking worked. I got a white light on that third attempt, meaning I won, right? I got the white, I was tunnel visioned. The crowd went silent. I grabbed my hands on the bar, shook it a few times, and just went for that shit. It went up and up and up and up and up and up. And it was probably the fucking longest rep that I have done in my life, because that shit felt like it went on for hours, right? All I heard was people screaming at me, up, 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 until I locked out. I didn't even look in front of me. I looked in the sky, right? I literally still have a video of it to this day, my third attempt. I just thought about tilting my head back, thought about, you know, falling over behind me, you know? If I didn't get the rep, at least I would fall behind myself, right? All I heard was up and up and up and up and up and up and up. I didn't even look at the crowd. I look above me. And at that point, you know, when all the doubters, when everyone was against me, when everyone was doubting me, when I felt like the world was against me, and when I felt like I lifted that bar, I felt like I could lift the world up. I felt like I lifted the heaviest thing in the world up, felt like I saved my fucking family. And that might sound dramatic, but I honestly don't give a shit, okay? I locked out, 3 white lights, was the best feeling in the world, guys. And if you're watching this right now, I really hope you get that feeling at least once in your life, because that shit felt so good. It was just a rush of adrenaline, enjoyment, fulfillment, joy. I felt like everything that I've worked for finally paid off, and it actually did, right? It's not like I was bullshitting. I actually won by 2.5 kilos, which is like 5 pounds. Like 2.5 kilos. It was very close. It was like, if you're watching this right now, I really wished you would have experienced that and watching that competitive ass meet, because it was toe to toe and it was head to head. I still don't even know the fucking, you know, words to like call that. But my point is, It was very close. It was a very, very close match. I won him on the squat, pretty much. I won the guy on the squat. We tied on the bench. He got a bigger deadlift, and I won him on the squat, right? Which gave me that 2 kilos that made me get the gold medal at the end, right? And I was fucking excited because, like, holy shit, I just won the national powerlifting meet, right? I'm a national champ, right, of my country. Even though it was a one-on-one, but shit, it felt fucking great, right? And look, guys, I'm not gonna stand here and say that I'm the strongest person in the world, but at the time, I really felt that way, right? And like, again, I really hope you guys could really feel that feeling of, you know, you're just detached from reality, and you felt like what you've just achieved is the best thing in the world, and you could do anything in the world. You can achieve anything, and you just feel so fulfilled, right? And yeah, guys, after that, you know, we got on the podium, got first place, put the gold medal around my neck. You know, I didn't want a money prize or anything because, you know, the Thailand's federation is broke, at least at the time. You know, I don't really powerlift anymore because of a lot of injuries. That's a story for another day though. But wore that gold medal around my neck, and it was the best thing in the world, okay? And look, guys, I'm telling this story, right, with the thought, you know, with in mind the fact that, you know, I wouldn't even want to be a powerlifting coach. If you guys didn't know, I run a online fitness coaching business where I help skinny and fat guys make the transformation of going from skinny or fat to aesthetic. I'm more confident in doing that. You know, when I was going through that prep, I didn't even have a coach. I was training by myself. I had a certain structure that I worked on, but it was probably not the most optimal ever, if I'm being honest with you, right? So if I had to coach someone to become stronger, I would probably not give the same advice as you would hear from a coach. But I do know how to build muscles and lose fat and bulk up and things like that, right? But my point is, guys, like, you know, the point of the story, okay, the moral of the story is that even when the world is against you, even if you're the underdog, even when everyone is doubting you, when you're going up against a big dog, anything is possible if you believe. Anything is possible if you vision yourself on top, if you put everything on the line, if you work your fucking ass off, right? And also if you have the right people around you, right? So shout out to everyone who was with me all along that journey. If you are watching this video right now, I fucking love you, right? And, you know, after that, I called my dad. I was like, Dad, I'm the national champion. I did it. I fucking did it. You know, after that, you know, everyone was just excited for me. You know, it was nothing like when I first walked into that gym, right? Everyone who was telling me that you're probably gonna get second place, or you probably, you know, that other guy at the start where I told you guys that he said to me that we both probably have a place for us at second place. You know, they all came up to me and said, you know, congratulations, good shit, bro, you know, GG's and things like that, right? All of my doubters, you know, who didn't think I could do it, I showed to them that I did it because I believed in myself. I believed in myself, and, you know, I didn't want to let that belief of myself let down. and that really built the mentality in me of like, you know, whatever I want to achieve, I can. Okay, if I truly put my mind into anything, I can achieve it. I can achieve anything if I put my mind towards it. And it's the same for you guys who are watching this video right now. It's the same for you on the other side of the screen who is watching this right now. If you believe in yourself, anything is possible if you put your mind towards it. Okay, so don't give up on that dream. Don't give up on that goal, even if you think it's impossible, even when everyone is telling you you can't do it, even though everyone is doubting you, even though, you know, you feel like the words of other people who are telling you that is impossible, it feels like it's becoming true. You can be the only person who determines that, whether it comes true or not. And it's your decision, okay? So, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for, you know, watching this whole video, going through it with me. I will have more content coming more soon, you know, more educational videos, more videos documenting my journey, you know, my story and things like that. So stay tuned for that. And if you want some more free value as well, go follow my Instagram and, you know, watch my short form. I post on it every single day. So yeah, thank you guys. Jonathan LeBron out. Peace.